an executive session if you'd like, okay? But to start sitting here now, something that came today, and to start throwing out what was in something today from a privileged and confidential, I'm not willing to waive my rights on that, so I don't want to discuss that now.
I want to get back to my motion about scratching the rest of these other 3 items on the agenda.
We've got a motion on the table right now. But
Anyone want to second it?
Scratching it for, scratching it for what?
Is there a motion to table? Is there a motion to strike? What is your motion?
motion to table all 4, right?
Yeah.
To
You read one, so
to
three or four.
executive session? Is that what you wish?
I didn't say executive session. I want to take them off.
Please excuse me for telling you my opinion, but you can go into executive session to discuss these matters because it does relate to disciplinary matters. So if you wish to go into executive session to discuss those resolutions, you can do so.
Actually, they relate to inquiries about information from the police department that pertain to us making an informed, intelligent decision about how we should go forward in terms of what the mayor is looking to do. And I see nothing wrong with
I've given my opinion on this.
I see nothing wrong with a board of trustees wanting to be informed, because the last time this village went through a huge lawsuit, it cost this village hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it was never settled. It was settled out of court is actually what happened.
I got a second on my motion.
And Mr. Mayor, with all due respect, you were the chief of police during that, so to take your legal advice now is not necessarily in the best interest of this board.
That's not nice.
It's not nice.
Shame.
We have a second. Do we do a vote on that, Conrad, or not?
I second.
Okay.
Well, we got a motion on the table.
You got a second?
Dude.
You got to ask who's all in favor?
Best meeting ever.
It's going
All
to be
those
just
in
us two.
favor of passing the direction of the chief of police to report on...
No, that's not what the,
No,
that's
my
not what
motion
the
to-
resolution.
My motion was to
You
get
want-
these off the
Oh,
table.
okay.
Make a
All
motion
those
to
in favor
table.
to table these four resolutions.
Aye.
Second. All those in
If they
favor?
vote to
Aye.
be as lawful, okay?
No.
Aye.
Jim?
No.
Okay.
Just tell him to say no.
We have a motion on the
She
table.
just told him to say no.
Forrest and seconded to direct the chief of police to report on command discipline. This resolution has been, we've been advised by our attorney that it should not go forward. I'm telling you that it is a violation of the Taylor law.
So why didn't you even discuss it yesterday? Why didn't you even discuss it? You said nothing to do
I
yesterday.
spent a whole day just looking over these resolutions, and I had other things to do besides.
okay.
But that's wonderful. Why didn't you call this morning when you got your email to me? Who said, she said? Don't worry about it.
I don't know what you're referring
Okay,
to.
all those in favor to direct the chief of police to report on the imposition of command discipline, prohibit the imposition of command discipline by the police chief and village mayor?
Aye.
No.
No. And I can't support anything that I don't know where it's come from, what attorney wrote them, and have any discussion with this, so I'm a firm no.
Aren't these the resolutions that your village attorney said 20 minutes ago shouldn't even be read?
Yep.
And you're gonna
We're
allow
still
it.
doing our normal business. We'll hang on.
So let me get this straight.
Always gonna get it straight. You're
We're gonna
liable
pass
now. You
resolutions
voted
that
for
aren't
it.
even, they're not gonna be enacted. Basically, like everything else that we've passed in the past, correct?
When they break the law.
No, but we've passed resolutions in the past where you just said, don't even worry about it, but we're not doing it.
And-
Right?
And you listen.
I am not going to obey an illegal resolution.
Okay, so what
I'm
we do,
a duly elected mayor of this village, and I will not follow an illegal
So-
resolution that I know is illegal.
so what we'll probably have to do then Conrad, is get a
You
court
probably have
order,
to-
get a judge to
You
decide if
probably
there's a
have to
legal
go to
limit.
court. You want to pay
Oh,
that.
now we have money.
So now we should just, so basically, what, we should just table everything and then go to court and see if we can pass resolutions up here as a board.
You can pass resolutions, but legal resolutions.
Content has to be legal, is that what you're saying?
So if you wish to table them, do I hear a motion?
He wasn't making a motion, he was making a comment.
I was,
Okay, you make it a comment, okay.
well, let's just, let's ask the whole board. Hank, how do you feel? Should we table to get a court order to enact our resolutions, or should we continue on?
I think this information is important for us to know, so we could make an intelligent decision as a board going forward, whether we're gonna spend taxpayer money, as well as if we're, what the circumstances surrounding all the information we knew, as we've repeated many times, that the mayor knew before, during, and after. It's unfortunate things were printed in the newspaper, but there are a lot of other circumstances that surround it. It's personnel issues, should not be played out in public. It's already, we've been served by these officers, and despite what some of you might have been heckling before, it's a real serious issue, and it does resemble the Verbeck case that occurred many years ago. And this mayor, this chief of police, was a trustee at the time. This mayor was the chief of police at this time. There's people that spoke at the last meeting about us that were trustees to give us advice. And at this point in time, we need this information. We're entitled to it as a sitting board here to make the best possible decision. If there's legal advice that you'd like to give it to us in executive session. You're still yet to sit and meet with us, like Jim said, and discuss anything to do with this case.
Let's put the Verbeck case in perspective. We had 2 full hearings, 2 different hearing officers, 2 different labor attorneys. On the first one, he was reduced in rank. On the second one, he was dismissed from the police department. Third one, he filed a civil rights suit, which was settled out of court by our insurance company, which I, or the chief of police, or the village clerk, have no way to stop it, interfere with it, or even ask them to do it. That is only up to the insurance company. We had a jury trial, and during the trial, he accepted the money, and he went away.
So we
That
lost.
was his choice.
And the village had to
The
pay.
insurance
And it was the
company
way that it was
That is-
directed and brought into a hearing. And as I sit up here and I'm responsible to the people.
There was no violation of anything in any of the hearings.
That's because it was settled out of
No,
settled out of
there
court.
was no violations. He never appealed. He immediately went to a federal court. He didn't appeal the dispositions. He had two attorneys at the first hearing, a private detective.
You want to talk
He
about
was
you
welcome.
want to talk about the hearing officers that you want to get into that now? You want to discuss the hearing
The
officers?
hearing officer was a retired Suffolk County Police Commissioner. The second one was a retired judge.
And if I'm not mistaken, they said that out of deference to you, knowing you for 25 years and being on the Chiefs Commission with you, that due to that fact, that's how
I
they
think
made
that
their
went into
ruling.
the record that he acknowledged that he knew me. He was on the Chiefs of Police Association, Suffolk County Chiefs at the same time I was, and that was strictly bringing it up on the record.
And we won the battle and we lost the war. It cost this village a lot of money. And now's not a time.
We didn't lose any war.
Yes,
You
yes.
haven't been around long enough to go to court.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Getting back to the business of today.
Time out. Any tapes? Round two.
No problem.
Welcome on.
Sorry.
No problem.
Get engaged in the fight.